Have you ever looked at someone and felt something was off, yet you couldn't explain why? That subtle tension in your chest, that quiet instinct saying, "Be careful." Most people ignore it until the damage is already done. The truth is, dangerous people rarely show their danger loudly. They hide it behind politeness, charm, even kindness, because true harm doesn't come from what's obvious. It comes from what stays hidden. Marcus Aurelius warned us, "You must learn to see what is truly there, not what you wish to see." And in a world where manipulation is subtle and intentions are blurred, learning to see clearly is not optional, it's survival. Today, we'll break down 5 warning signs that someone is far more dangerous than you think. Signs most people overlook. Signs Stoic wisdom can help you recognize before it's too late. Let's begin. 1. They hide harm behind kindness. Some dangerous people don't show their danger at all. They show kindness, and that's what makes them truly hard to detect. There are people whose warmth feels comforting, yet something in your gut quietly warns you that the warmth is staged. Stoicism teaches that danger rarely enters your life as a threat. It enters as a gift. People with harmful intentions wrap themselves in gentleness, generosity, and charm because they know kindness lowers your guard faster than anything else. And once your guard falls, they gain access to your trust, your time, and the parts of you not everyone gets to see. Their kindness doesn't feel natural. It feels calculated. It feels timed. A genuinely kind person is steady. Their behavior doesn't shift based on what they want from you, but a dangerous person's kindness appears only when it benefits them. They observe your insecurities, your doubts, your loneliness, and then step into your life as the solution. Not because they care, because solving your loneliness gives them influence. They don't build connection, they build dependence. They don't help you grow, they make sure you grow attached. You'll notice their compliments sound perfect but strangely hollow, as if rehearsed for effect rather than expressed from sincerity. Their praise comes early, too early, before they actually know you. That's the first sign. They want emotional access without earning relational depth, and they attempt to achieve that through accelerated kindness. Stoics would call this false virtue, a display of goodness that doesn't come from character but from agenda. A dangerous person gives in ways that feel heavy. The gesture looks generous, but the energy behind it feels like a debt. You begin to sense that their help comes with invisible strings. You start adjusting your tone, your decisions, your boundaries to avoid disappointing them. That is the moment their kindness becomes a cage. And like all cages, it doesn't lock immediately. It closes slowly, quietly, subtly. Watch how they respond when you say no. That's where the truth reveals itself. If someone's kindness disappears the moment you stop being useful, that kindness was never real. Their warmth becomes cold, their charm becomes tension, and their supportive energy turns into guilt, silence, or subtle punishment. Stoicism reminds us that a person's character is revealed when they don't get what they want. A dangerous person cannot tolerate resistance because resistance threatens their control. And when control is threatened, their mask cracks. They will frame your boundaries as rejection, your independence as betrayal, your needs as inconvenience. Suddenly, the same person who once praised you now questions your loyalty. They'll say things like, "I thought we were closer than that," or "After everything I've done for you," weaponizing their past kindness to make you feel guilty. This is not generosity. It's manipulation disguised as generosity. Their behavior becomes unpredictable, but not in a chaotic way, in a patterned way. Warm when they want something, cold when you stop giving, charming when winning you over, harsh when they fear losing you. Stoic wisdom tells us not to judge people by isolated moments, but by repeated patterns. And when you step back and observe without emotion, a dangerous person reveals themselves through these precise patterns of inconsistency. You may find yourself doubting your instincts, especially if you're naturally empathetic or conflict avoidant. Dangerous people rely on that. They rely on your politeness, your compassion, your desire to see the good in others. That is why Stoicism teaches emotional detachment, not to become cold, but to see clearly. When you detach from the desire to please, you begin to notice the truth. Their kindness is never about you. It's about control. Real kindness empowers you. False kindness binds you. Real kindness respects your boundaries. False kindness punishes them. Real kindness is consistent. False kindness performs. The moment you stop interpreting their kindness as love and start seeing it as a tactic, the spell breaks. You no longer feel flattered. You feel observed. You no longer feel supported. You feel handled. And once clarity arrives, their mask no longer works on you. The Stoics taught that the greatest protection is not suspicion, it is perception. You don't need to fear these people. You only need to see them. 2, they twist your reality to confuse you. Some people don't attack your character. They attack your clarity, and once they take your clarity, they can take anything else they want. One of the most dangerous traits a person can have is the ability to distort your perception of reality. They do it slowly, subtly, and always with a tone that sounds calm enough to make you question whether you're overreacting. This tactic has a name, gaslighting. But long before it became a modern psychological term, the Stoics warned about those who manipulate the mind by manipulating your interpretation of events. A dangerous person doesn't need to yell to gain power. They simply make you doubt what you saw, what you felt, or what you remember. They shift timelines, deny promises, and reinterpret conversations with such confidence that you begin wondering if your own memory is flawed. And once you doubt yourself, they no longer need to overpower you. You will overpower yourself on their behalf. They use sentences designed to undermine your certainty. You're remembering it wrong. You're too sensitive. That's not what happened. I never said that. You're imagining things. What makes this tactic so effective is not its aggression, but its subtlety. They sprinkle truth with distortion. They mix denial with reassurance. They contradict you with a tone so calm that you feel ashamed for questioning them. Stoicism teaches that the first step toward losing your freedom is losing your grasp on your own judgment. And that is exactly what a dangerous manipulator targets. Your capacity to trust the truth as you experience it. You begin adjusting your behavior to avoid conflict. You stop bringing things up. You stop expressing discomfort. And slowly, their version of reality becomes the dominant one. Not because it's true, but because you've grown too tired to challenge it. They know that confusion is a quieter, more effective weapon than confrontation. Confusion doesn't push you away. It traps you. Gaslighting doesn't happen in one moment. It happens in the spaces between moments. They rewrite what happened last week. They reinterpret what you said last night. They recast your emotional responses as flaws rather than signals. Suddenly, you find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do, explaining things you never needed to justify, and feeling guilty for remembering events accurately. Stoicism calls this the theft of perception, a corruption of the lens through which you view the world. A dangerous person will accuse you of misjudging them while quietly misjudging your reality. They'll question your motives while hiding their own. They'll make you feel unreasonable for wanting clarity while refusing to give you any. And the more you internalize their narrative, the more disconnected you become from your inner voice. The voice the Stoics believed was your greatest guide. This kind of manipulation doesn't only change how you see them, it changes how you see yourself. You begin doubting your instincts, your observations, your emotional intelligence. You start believing you are the problem, too emotional, too reactive, too forgetful. And that loss of self-trust is the exact foothold a dangerous person needs to take control of your decisions, your boundaries, and even your identity. Stoicism teaches that while you cannot control what others say, you can control the meaning you assign to their words. The first defense against manipulation is not confrontation. It is clarity. Clarity about what you saw. Clarity about what you felt. Clarity about what actually happened. You reclaim your power by anchoring yourself to facts instead of their interpretations. You reclaim stability by trusting patterns instead of apologies. You reclaim dignity by refusing to argue with someone who benefits from your confusion. A dangerous person wants you disoriented. A wise person steps back, observes, and chooses peace over distortion. Your perception is not up for negotiation. Your memory is not a debate. Your truth is not a flaw. When someone twists your reality, they reveal the seriousness of their intentions, not just to manipulate the moment, but to reshape your mind. And once you recognize this tactic for what it is, their influence begins to crumble, because clarity is the one thing they cannot control, unless you hand it over. 3. They consistently cross your boundaries. Some people don't need to shout to show their intentions. They simply test how far they can step into your space, and each time you let it slide, they step a little further. Boundary crossing is one of the earliest and clearest signs that someone is more dangerous than you think. Not because the action itself is dramatic, but because it reveals a mindset, a belief that your time, your energy, your emotions, and your personal limits are negotiable. To them, boundaries are not lines. They are invitations to push. At first, it appears harmless. They interrupt you in conversation. They invade your personal space. They pressure you to share things you're not ready to share. They insist you respond immediately, even when you're busy. Each act is small, but the intention beneath it is not small at all. Stoicism teaches that small violations reveal the nature of a person more than grand gestures do. A dangerous person reveals themselves not through what they break, but through what they refuse to respect. They expect access to you without earning trust. They expect compliance without considering your needs. They expect closeness without honoring your comfort. Boundary violators often act surprised when you resist. They'll say you're overreacting. They'll downplay your discomfort. They'll frame your need for space as unnecessary, dramatic, or rude. This is not a misunderstanding. It's conditioning. They want you to second-guess yourself so they don't have to examine their own entitlement. And the moment you start wondering if your boundaries are too much, they've already begun shaping your behavior. A dangerous person doesn't wait for permission. They assume permission. Watch how they react when you say no. That single word is the most revealing test of all. A healthy person respects it. A balanced person adjusts. A dangerous person resents it. They feel personally offended, as if your boundary is an attack rather than an act of self-respect. Stoics understood that a person who cannot accept your autonomy has already revealed a deeper truth. They do not see you as an equal. They see you as an extension of their will. You may notice that interactions with them leave you drained, not because of conflict, but because of constant vigilance. You find yourself preparing explanations, softening your tone, and overthinking how to decline their requests. You begin managing their emotions more than your own. This quiet exhaustion is not random. It's the psychological cost of maintaining boundaries with someone who refuses to honor them. Dangerous people escalate slowly. First, they take your time. Then, they take your emotional bandwidth. Eventually, they try to take your agency. Stoicism teaches that self-respect is the first fortress. It's not about pushing people away. It's about recognizing who walks into your life gently and who forces the door open. Boundary violators do not force the door. They test the hinges. They see what creaks. They adjust their approach. And then they push again. Sometimes they disguise their intrusions as concern. They want to know where you are, who you're with, and why you didn't answer sooner. They label it as care, but the undertone is suspicion. Other times, they wrap it in humor, mocking your limits as if they're a joke. If you flinch, they claim you're too sensitive. If you don't react, they push further. This is not care, it is calibration. The Stoics believed that your peace is sacred and anything that disturbs it must be examined, not excused. When someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, they reveal that they value their comfort more than your dignity. And dignity is non-negotiable. You cannot control how much access someone wants, but you can control how much access you give. When you enforce boundaries, dangerous people will try to make you feel guilty. They rely on your empathy, your politeness, your desire not to upset anyone. But boundaries are not about conflict. They are about clarity. They communicate what you allow and what you refuse. They are not walls. They are filters. They let the right people in and keep the wrong people out. A person who respects you will adjust. A person who uses you will resist. And the moment you realize this difference, their influence weakens. Because a boundary is not just protection, it is revelation. It shows you who someone truly is. 4. They enjoy your discomfort. Some people don't reveal their danger through anger. They reveal it through amusement, because nothing exposes a person's true nature more clearly than what they laugh at, especially when the laughter comes at your expense. There is a specific kind of individual who becomes energized, not empathetic, when you're embarrassed, stressed, or struggling. They lean in when you're uncomfortable. They smirk when you falter. They make subtle comments that sting but are disguised as jokes. And every time you show a hint of vulnerability, their eyes light up, not with compassion, but with satisfaction. A dangerous person doesn't need to harm you directly. They simply enjoy watching you hurt. Stoicism teaches that cruelty is not an accident of character. It is a revelation of inner decay. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a person's joy reveals what their soul is attached to. So when someone repeatedly takes pleasure in your discomfort, they're showing you exactly who they are beneath the surface. This type of behavior often begins small. They tease you in front of others, laughing just long enough to make you uncomfortable, but not long enough for anyone else to call it out. They might mimic your mistakes, mock your voice, or bring up moments you'd rather forget. And when you react, they hide behind the classic shield of manipulators. Relax, I'm just joking. But their jokes only go one direction. They never make themselves the target. They always choose you. Notice how their tone changes when something unfortunate happens to you. Rather than showing concern, they become strangely entertained. If you're stressed, they become amused. If you're anxious, they become observant. If you're disappointed, they offer a smile that feels slightly too satisfied. This is not normal human behavior. It is a red flag. In group settings, they use you as emotional currency. Your embarrassment becomes their social leverage. Your discomfort becomes their comedic material. They play to the room, knowing that a few laughs at your expense will position them as the confident, witty, dominant presence. And while everyone else thinks it's harmless humor, only you feel the undertone, an edge sharper than what's spoken aloud. This is not humor. It is hierarchy. A dangerous person wants to establish dominance without appearing aggressive. Making you the silent target allows them to test how easily you can be destabilized, how quickly you fold, how badly you want acceptance. Stoicism warns that you must observe not just actions, but impacts. If someone consistently leaves you feeling smaller than before, that feeling is not an overreaction. It is information. Pay attention to the moments when you share good news with them. Instead of celebrating, they downplay it, redirect the conversation, or insert subtle negativity. Their discomfort with your success matches their delight in your struggle. This contrast exposes something crucial. They do not want to see you grow. They want to see you shrink. And when you confront them, they twist the situation. They'll say you're too sensitive, too serious, or imagining intentions that aren't there. They shift the blame from their behavior to your emotional response, reinforcing a cycle where they can continue hurting you while you continue doubting yourself. Stoicism teaches that the wise person does not debate with those who corrupt perception. They simply step away. A dangerous person's enjoyment of your discomfort is not random. It is a form of control. If they can make you doubt yourself, they can make you dependent. If they can make you feel embarrassed, they can keep you silent. If they can make you fear being mocked, they can shape your behavior. Their cruelty becomes a leash, subtle but effective. Healthy people do not delight in your pain. Healthy people do not smirk when you stumble. Healthy people do not treat your vulnerability as entertainment. This behavior reveals an emotional void, an inability to empathize, a desire to dominate, and a willingness to harm without lifting a finger. It shows a person who measures their value not by their own growth, but by your discomfort. Stoics believe that true strength is shown through compassion, restraint, and integrity. A person who derives pleasure from your suffering has none of these qualities. They are not strong, they are hollow. Their laughter does not reflect joy, it reflects imbalance. When someone repeatedly enjoys your discomfort, the wise response is not to argue, explain, or match their tone. The wise response is distance. You do not need to teach them empathy. You do not need to prove you're worthy of respect. You do not need to participate in their cruelty to defend yourself. You simply need to stop giving them access to the parts of you they enjoy wounding. Because a person who smiles at your suffering will eventually create more of it, just to keep smiling. 5. They slowly isolate you to gain control. Some people don't dominate you by force. They dominate you by removing every place you could stand without them. Isolation is their quiet strategy, and their most dangerous one. A dangerous person doesn't begin by pulling you away from everyone you care about. They begin by planting doubt. They comment casually about your friends, suggesting someone doesn't really appreciate you or talks behind your back. They question your family's intentions, your co-workers' loyalty, or the sincerity of the people you trust, and little by little, you start wondering if they're right. Isolation never starts with distance. It starts with doubt. Once doubt takes root, they position themselves as the only one who truly understands you. They offer comfort, validation, and attention, just enough to make their presence feel essential. Stoicism teaches that dependence is the first chain that binds the mind. A dangerous person knows this intuitively. They don't want to be part of your support system, they want to replace it entirely. You'll notice they become uncomfortable when you spend time with others. They may act withdrawn, irritated, or strangely cold when you come back energized from seeing friends. They turn your joy into tension. They turn your outside connections into emotional consequences. And soon, you find yourself choosing the path of least resistance, which often means choosing them. They disguise their control as concern. They disguise their insecurity as protection. They disguise their manipulation as love. They might say things like, "I just worry about you," or "I don't think they treat you right," or "You're better when you're with me." The phrases sound caring, but the effect is restrictive. Stoicism warns that sentimentality is often used as a mask for control, and here it becomes the perfect tool. By packaging confinement as care, they gain power without appearing controlling. Watch how they react when you make independent decisions. If their support disappears the moment you grow, that is not love. It is ownership. They do not want you to expand your life because expansion threatens their influence. A strong support system makes you resilient. A dangerous person needs you fragile. Over time, you begin to shrink your world without even realizing it. You stop sharing updates with friends. You stop attending gatherings. You stop seeking advice from people who truly care. Your circle becomes small, too small, and in that smallness, they become the center. The Stoics believed that a healthy life is one connected to others through honesty, community, and virtue. Isolation, on the other hand, creates dependency, and dependency creates control. They don't want to isolate you physically, they want to isolate you mentally. Even when you're around others, you may find yourself thinking about their reaction. Will they be upset? Will they withdraw affection? Will they accuse you of not prioritizing them? When someone controls your thoughts without even being in the room, isolation is complete. And the most dangerous part, you don't notice the cage until the door closes. A dangerous person slowly chips away at your support system until you have nowhere to turn but them. They don't need to threaten you. They simply make sure you have no one else. And once you're emotionally dependent, they can shape your choices, your priorities, your identity, even your worldview. This pattern is one of the strongest red flags in all of human behavior. A person who fears your independence more than they value your well-being. Stoicism teaches that genuine connection seeks to make you stronger, not smaller. Anyone who isolates you does not love you. They need you. And their need is not your responsibility. Healthy people want to see you connected. Healthy people celebrate your friendships. Healthy people never punish you for having a life outside of them. Connection expands you. Control reduces you. The moment you recognize isolation as a tactic, not a misunderstanding, not an emotional quirk, but a deliberate erosion of your autonomy, you regain your power. You remember that your life is not meant to orbit a single person. You remember that your strength grows from community, clarity, and independence, and you take the first step back toward yourself. Because once you reclaim your connections, their control dissolves. Because a person who loves isolation for you is terrified of freedom within you. And because the most dangerous people don't lock you away, they convince you to walk into the cage on your own. The truth is simple. Dangerous people rarely reveal themselves in obvious ways. They reveal themselves through patterns of manipulation, boundary breaking, distortion, cruelty, and control. And once you learn to recognize these patterns, you stop personalizing them. You stop blaming yourself. You stop thinking you misread the situation. You begin to see clearly the way the Stoics intended, without illusion, without denial, and without fear. Marcus Aurelius taught that the quality of your life depends on the quality of your judgment. When you sharpen your perception, you protect your peace. When you honor your boundaries, you protect your dignity. When you refuse confusion, you protect your mind. And when you stay connected to people who genuinely care, you protect your freedom. If any of these signs appeared in someone around you, take a step back. Observe, reclaim your clarity, and remind yourself that your life is not meant to be shaped by someone who benefits from your confusion or your isolation. If this message resonated, comment, "I see the signs." Take care of your mind, and it will take care of you.